Welcome back, you're watching Logo. Well, there are lots of lessons to be learned from the eChopal platform and how ITC has actually used it. Moving on, it is a brand that has been around for 4 long decades, but guess what? NIVEA is trying to expand its portfolio and target the new metrosexual man. Earlier, my colleague Baljit Chadha caught up with the marketing head of NIVEA to find out why this broad basing.
NIVEA is the biggest skincare brand in the world and a name that has epitomized care for generations. Brand NIVEA has created a special place in the minds of Indian women with its skin and body care range in the last 4 decades of its existence here. As a part of its overall growth strategy, the heritage brand is investing huge sums of money to create a niche position for itself in the care and grooming product range for men. We caught up with Soma Ghosh, the country marketing head of NIVEA, to find out what the overall brand strategy is in India.
Actually, it's an interesting time to talk because next year NIVEA is entering its 100th year anniversary. So it's been around in the world for 100 years. And in India, it's also been around for a very long time. Almost any consumer we talk to today and we ask them, what do you know about NIVEA? And they all go back to their childhood and the blue round tin that they got from some foreign country when somebody traveled. In India, it's enjoyed a very strong heritage of care and trust. And this is really something that we're leveraging.
Obviously, the brand has evolved from one category to multiple categories that you spoke about. In terms of your marketing messages, your communication strategy, what has been the evolution there?
In terms of the marketing strategy also, what has happened is we've really innovated. So to give you an example, in a category like deodorant, which has typically been driven by fragrance and has also typically been a male-dominated category in India, we've been one of the foremost brands which has offered a female deodorant product. We just launched this year called Pearl and Beauty. Similarly, in other categories, for example, like men, which is a comparatively new category in the country, we've also been the innovators. So at a time when hardly anybody was talking to men in a dedicated way, we actually came up and said that, you know, you need to care for your skin.
Going back to your earlier, the deodorant as a category, typically the market share, or rather the challenges for a brand like NIVEA, which is just launched to that category wherein there are dominant players already. So what is the kind of market positioning that you are attempting in a category which is already overcrowded and there's obviously a leader which is very dominant there?
Yes, that's true. It's a very exciting category. It's a category that's been growing more than 30% for the last few years. It's also a category which is still just 20 or 25% penetration. So it's extremely exciting in that sense. Well, we are a brand that's really focused on upper SEC consumers, and therefore we look at top 20 metros really as our key area where we play, and we are actually already the number 3 player in this category at about 7% share.
You've started as the NIVEA as a brand was known or perceived, or rather still continues to be perceived as a brand for women. Yes. And obviously you've taken a huge plunge into this segment which is obviously growing. Yes. What is the strategy overall to encash on this growth?
Interestingly, in India, men have actually been using NIVEA for a long time because it's a family brand. So when NIVEA body, NIVEA cream, we've had shaving cream forever actually in India as well. So men have been very used to buying NIVEA products in that sense, and we've just been able to translate this equity and goodwill into different categories.
Going back again to the same challenge, a brand which is perceived as a woman's brand, how do you communicate and get the men to actually start using a product while they may be using without being spoken to? What is the marketing message
What
there?
we've also done is in a cricket crazy country like India, we had this whole tie-up with IPL for 2 years, which worked very well for us.
Which is the Super Kings Chennai?
Yeah, with the Chennai Super Kings team, and we actually had Dhoni and Raina and a few other cricketers also. So we did a commercial, we did ground level activation, and we did a consumer activation where lucky consumers could buy a pack and get to meet Dhoni. And we have not really seen men perceiving us as a very feminine brand, and that being a big barrier to usage. We haven't faced this problem from men. Yeah.
Going back to the positioning, NIVEA is perceived as a super premium brand. Are there any plans to actually have a brand which is going to be appealing to the mass market, or a brand which is basically going to be a challenging brand or challenger brand which is going to come up? Are there something on the...
Actually, you're right. We are seen as a mass premium, I wouldn't say super premium, but mass premium brand. Even our cold cream is priced 30% premium to our nearest competitor really. And we see that price has worked well because people actually see us as high priced and high quality. So we don't want to move away from this position. position right now. So we will continue to focus because we still have a huge chance to grow in key metros in the top 20, top 30 metros in the country. And we do see an increasing level of affluence. More and more people are upgrading to SEC-A. So we see a great opportunity. Just to also share an interesting statistic with you, in India the per capita consumption of NIVEA is 0.02 euro. If you compare to Brazil, it's about 1.3 euro, and in Germany it's about 5 euro. So even for NIVEA, we see, even if we don't compare to Europe, which is a very advanced market, but another big country, which is Brazil, there's a huge growth opportunity really for us. So right now we do see a great opportunity amongst top metros for our business.
Up next, the pick of the week, and we're talking about